We are so happy to have you on MultiTalks and many congratulations for your debut feature film, Kaamyaab.
Thank you.
It's already been screened, means premiered in Busan Film Festival and then in Paris, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me more about how did this concept come to you?
While growing up in India, you always end up watching all the the mainstream Bollywood movies that were getting made during my growing up, which was 90s and late 80s. And most of them had, apart from the hero, this one fall guy,
Yeah.
who would be the hero ka dost, or who would be the smuggler's henchman, or who would be the police who will come in the climax, or the doctor who will come with the bad news. So I used to wonder what would these guys be doing, after their shot is done, or why were they stereotyped for the longest of the times? So I was quite fascinated by this subject, and when I saw these faces while growing up, and when I came to Bombay to work in the movies, I actually saw some of them. I came to face with them, and I was like, whoa! One of them is actually traveling in a bus, and some of them are
So
still
you recognized?
yes,
Yeah.
and some of them are still being known by that one name,
Yeah.
which the movie that they did in 1975, say Mr. Viju Kote is still called by many people because in Sholay he played Kalia. So
Yeah, of
many people
course.
just meet him randomly and ask that, "Arey kitna aadmi the Kalia?" And he's like, "Dude, it's been 40 years to that." So yeah, that kind of really fascinated me, and I wanted to, because this is also such a very Indian thing to to stereotype certain characters and actors, and then they have done numerous films, like Mr. Jagdish Raj has a record of playing inspector in 184
Yeah.
films. So I was
And generally the same role. They
Yes.
used to repeat the same role again and
yes.
again.
So that was the starting point to make Kaamyaab, and
Okay.
I really wanted Mr. Mishra to Sanjay Mishra sir to do it, because he's the kind of a guy who's been that character actor and who's been the
Now the
casted
scenario is
comedian.
changing
But
gradually,
yes, now
yeah.
with like a wine ages is how Mr. Mishra is aging, and he's coming out with a
So how was it like directing Sanjay Mishra and Deepak Dobria? Like, they are the finest actors right now also of the industry, Mumbai industry. So how was it like directing them?
I think because our film is about an actor, it was very essential that we have good actors in the film. Whereas me, the cinematographer, the music director, the editor, we were all first timers. But we wanted that the actors who were playing in the film, because it's about an aging actor, of course, and the ensemble around him has to be really powerful. And Deepak is somebody who I've been a big fan of. From his start days, where I was just starting to get initiated to cinema, and his earlier roles, I used to find him so, I used to find a kind of Ed Woodian thing in him,
It's very different,
yeah, that kind of presence and that kind of comic timing that he has, just the way normal dialogue he can say it. And of course, Sanjay sir is somebody who is able to do all the range, from the black comedy to the laugh out loud comedy, to the most subtle emotional melodrama also. So I really wanted that. And so if somebody asks me that if you had workshops with actors, I tell them that it was my workshop that was happening, because they were such good actors that it was my first film.
So and Sanjay Mishra is evolving from one film to another, like that. So it's
yes,
really
and how Aankho Dekhi was a big
and then
revelation.
Masan, and then
of course.
he was a Newton also.
Newton, yes, he was a small, but his is the most important
Yeah.
dialogue in the film. So yes,
Of course. And so your previous one was your famous documentary, famous in Ahmedabad. So you started by writing scripts, right? Writing fiction. So why did you choose to do a documentary, like when you started?
One of the things is that because you want to make your first feature film, it's not very easy to break out. I mean, it's from LA to Bombay, I think it's everywhere the same. So you got to make that one, breakout shot, or a breakout documentary, or breakout indie, or something that kind of gets people's attention, and you get your own film to get made. So to make Kaamyaab, I thought that I should make a shot that kind of gets people's attention. And I come from Baroda, Gujarat, and Ahmedabad is like our enemy city.
Yeah.
So, but Ahmedabad celebrates kite flying like no other city in the world. So when I went back to Ahmedabad and I saw this madness happening between us, from a 6-year-old boy to a 60-year-old old man, everybody just going crazy for kites. I thought, here is a story that I need to capture, and this is a story from my land. And like Meera Nair says that, if you don't tell your story, then who will else will? So I thought, let me start with this boy and this whole mad world of Ahmedabad. That's how Famous in Ahmedabad shaped us.
And the interesting thing, when I watched the documentary, every character has like, it doesn't look like that they are from the real world, that they are like playing, they're acting, from the little boy to the watchman of the bank, like
to the Maulvi.
Yeah. Most interestingly, the watchman of the bank has some like weird expressions in his face, look, as if he's acting, like he's not very happy. Then he starts flying the kites. So how did you did you have a workshop kind of thing or something?
No, we were just captured, because documentary, I mean, the fun of documentary is that the story actually walks into your camera. And that is exactly what was happening while we were shooting this mad festival in Ahmedabad. Also very interesting thing, once you place the camera in front of a subject, and especially in India, everybody kind of has a story to tell, has something to tell you, that it's camera, it's serious, I need to tell something important. So yeah, that's how we kept.
Yeah, but they have something in their face, like they're very raw, but they're like as if I'm watching a fiction. So that's the
yes, I mean yeah, that's the beauty of editing actually. Like how screenplay writing is in fiction is how editing is in documentary, because we chose some of the best lines because we interviewed them extensively, and then we ensured that because you can't repeat your points and again. So just make the best out of take the best lines out of their conversations, and that went into the edit. And eventually, what came out almost felt like, oh, is it fiction? Is it documentary? Kind of.
Seriously, it's a treat watching this. I didn't watch it on big screen. I didn't get the chance, but even in computer, like it works well. And yeah, dialogue. You're saying that off ho gaya.
Like switch off.
Whoever is dying, they're saying that meri beti off ho gaya. Like it's fun. Like, not very funny, but fun.
In fact, Famous in Ahmedabad has been screened in Paris twice because Academy de Caesar had selected in 2017. So, and now for the feature Paris. So I mean, Paris is in that way.
And Famous in Ahmedabad has been screened in some great documentary festivals and got the national award. Yeah, so
yeah, it's on Netflix. So whenever anybody wants to watch, our audience,
of course,
it's also available.
It's available on Netflix. And the second thing I would like to ask you is, like, in documentary, as I was telling you, you have to manage the characters or the participants in different way. And when you switch to fiction, then how do you prepare yourself, like from documentary to fiction?
I think the good part about documentary is that it makes you see the most authentic thing that is happening in front of your camera, and you while you are editing your own film, you start living with those characters, and you start understanding how a normal real person behaves, and which helps you in fiction, because anything that is a false note in fiction, while somebody playing that in front of camera can easily be caught, because you trained yourself into documentary form and you met real people, and you've done that, and in fact even for Kaamyaab we actually met a lot of these old actors who are still around in Bombay, and one of them is 75-year-old and still works in movies, and he still goes for auditions. You won't believe, Mr. Birbal, he was there in Sholay, in that jail scene where Kesto Mukherjee is doing he's the barber, and the guy whose half mustache is cut is Mr. Birbal actually.
And is it true that in Linka Book of Records it's
yeah, in fact Mr. Manmoji, who is the other character actor, he was given this award for playing and it's in all cinemas across the world. This is a unique record that he holds for playing a bald man in 300 films altogether. In fact, Mr. Salman Rushdie came to give him that award, and he has that photo in his home, and I was like, wow, this is a fact. You cannot invent this fact. Fiction cannot do this. This can only real life can do.
Yeah, you have to choose. So you were just saying that as you have done documentaries, so you're being able to capture the raw emotions of the actors in your fiction like that.
For our audience who might not know who is Mr. Manmoji. He's the guy who is the servant in Bazigar. When Johnny Lever and he are that
all of us know the face.
Everybody will know the face.
Maybe we forget the name sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, so you started by writing, script supervisor, then co-writer. So why did you switch from writing to direction? I think I just heard some big guy of Bollywood saying that because nowadays directors are also the stars, like the actors, like more than that sometimes. But all the writers, but there's a dearth of good writers always, and all the writers want to get that focus, maybe the focus or publicity. So they want to be directors. So you also did that. So I just wanted to ask you.
I actually wanted to be a director only. Writing was I was using as a stepping stone. You can say, like, how sometimes people use short films as stepping stone to become feature filmmakers. But I mean, I'm somebody who would want to go back to short film anytime again. But yeah, I mean, writing is something that I feel that, directing comes much more naturally to me, but writing is something that you got to learn that craft, the way you need to learn editing, the way you need to know about cinematography, because these are the elements that actually make cinema eventually. But writing is a great learning ground.
And it's your strength. It must be your strength.
Yes, I mean,
like you cannot learn everything.
Yeah, but and actually, I've co-written Trapped, but to be very frank, me as a writer is made to look good by the director Vikramaditya Motwane, because he made the film so well. Like even the way he used sound, the way he edit, music, everything was so well done that suddenly, in fact, we were nominated in Filmfare for best screenplay. And if somebody came to ask us a screenplay, we actually didn't have that screenplay.
It just evolved like that.
Yeah, it just evolved while we were doing our conversations and while the film was getting made. So I was like, wow, how things can change. So writing was basically used to get evolved.
So direction was your goal actually. What about your future projects? Like you're doing a documentary again or a fiction maybe after Kaamyaab?
I've just finished writing again because I'm not. It's a fiction, yes. Okay. But I'm a part of the writing team for an Amazon series called Kaamyaab, which Anushka Sharma's production. Clean Slate. They produced Pari last year.
Pari and then that
Filori.
Yes. Right.
So this is their big web series.
And the NH10 also.
NH10 also, yes, of course. So Kaamyaab is going to be the big thing at the end of this year. They start shoot.
So you're also director? No,
I have just.
So who's the director?
Avinash Arun, who made Killa, beautiful Killa, and Rosit Roy, who made Pari. So they both are directing the whole.
So it's a series. So there are many stories like that.
There is one story, but it's a kind of an investigative noir.
Okay.
So it goes into like a true detective, you can say, like that kind of an investigation, thriller sort of format. And it's also again new for me because I have done a slice of life dramedy or a documentary or a short fiction. So this is again a new space.
So when I watched your short film The Affair and also Famous in Ahmedabad, your docu, and your feature Kaamyaab, the fiction, I saw that at the end always you were going to do something a little melodramatic or something, goody thing, what should I say?
Trying to please
the audience. Exactly. Is it like, by choice?
I think I am, as a personality, somebody who likes to please people or likes to entertain people. So I think it comes naturally to me that I have also heard this somewhere that if it's the shittiest second act, the audience will forgive, but you have to charm them by the third act. So if you please your audience, by they take something home, and also you get to tell your story, and you also get to tell everything that you wanted it in a way, but also touch the heart of the audience. And I think a humor or slice of life is something that the audience responds to.
Yeah, if they are happy at the end, they will like some way it's a form of entertainment. We have to remember that. Yeah.
But maybe this is also this phase of my life. Maybe 10 years later, I would want to actually suppress them. So I'm keen to do that, but.
And what about festivals? Like when you made Kaamyaab, did you have something in mind that I have to crack the festivals, I have to crack the festival audience, or just for like making the film and pleasing the audience with it?
First of all, I was just so happy that I could finish this film and make this film. It was almost like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old dream that was being nurtured as a script and it finally got made. I have not made it with any plan in my head, so I'm just waiting that it gets released in India because we've made it with a very Indian idiom and the grammar of the film is very Indian.
They will get to understand.
Yeah, I mean, doctors coming out of operation theatre and saying that abhi dawa ki nahi dua ki zarurat hai is very Indian, so or an inspector coming and saying the कानून में आपको चारों तरफ से घेर रखा है. So I'm just waiting that. But also the good part is that the foreign audiences also get this. That I understand this cliche and which is why we got a great response yesterday in Paris screening and so in Busan too. Like people actually came out so touched and they were all telling me that I get this because even Koreans' appetite for entertainment is quite Indian in that sense.
That's a great thing that people are like getting your point of view.
Yeah.
Even you have made something very Bollywood or something very Indian. That is one thing. Or do you have any plan to make another documentary like?
I want to make a documentary, but I am right now not very sure of the subject because I'm just waiting for what is that subject taking its own due course, and when should I join that thing on it. So because I'm not at the liberty of discussing that subject, but I mean I'm just waiting for it to to ripen.
So again an Indian subject maybe or
absolutely Indian. Not Gujarat, but it's a more Bombay subject. But let's see.
Okay, thank you so much, Hardik,
Thank you so much.
for your time.